Hey, folks.
Hey, people.
Hey,
Hey, good people.
folks.
We are here just
We are
as
here.
promised.
Yep. It is 5 o'clock.
And we said that we're gonna be talking about marriage moment tips. Right, babe?
Yeah. Welcome to Marriage Moment Tips.
Welcome to marriage moment tips. Um, this is our first live, so we're just gonna give a few people some people time to come on in,
Mm-hmm.
and
Check out
we may
social
not
media.
be before you long. We don't know.
Yeah. But we actually did this
Oh,
during the pandemic.
yeah, we did a couple of
Yeah.
marriage videos during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So if you have time, go sit back. If you're not going out tonight, go sit back, put on something comfortable, get you something to drink,
Yep.
and come join us.
Yep. So, welcome to Marriage Moment Tips. And I think that, I know that after 28 years of marriage,
28 years.
28 years of marriage, and we dated for 2 years.
Yes.
For 2 years, well, 30 years of being with this woman, being with my wife. Yeah,
We ain't even got started yet.
I think we have some wisdom to offer.
Yes.
Well, I know we have some wisdom to offer.
And we're not perfect.
Yeah,
We're not claiming to be perfect. We're just here to give y'all some marriage moment tips.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not gonna be church.
Yeah.
We hopefully we be quoting a lot of scriptures
No,
because we don't want it to be church.
No.
We are pastor and pastor's wife, but we're not coming as that. We're coming as married couples,
Yeah.
just trying to help build and support and encourage other married couples. That's all we are here for.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, family, we see y'all Mitchells. Hey, Pastor Mitchell. Hey, Sister Veronica Mitchell. Thank y'all for joining us. And so, if you have a specific question or a specific topic you want us to talk about, those of you that know how to get in contact with us, share it on Facebook. Share this on Facebook. Send us a message or put it in the comments area. Uh, Look at Pastor Mitchell. I don't know how to make the live public. I thought it was public. So we need to. Mitchell said we need to make the live public. Baby.
Okay.
Let's see.
I work on that right here.
Yeah. So y'all welcome and make the live public. Thank y'all for joining us, and it may be some serious conversation, but for the most part, it's probably gonna be fun. I guess there'll be some transparent moments where we discuss some transparency. I think in this day and time, that when it comes down to married couples, I think I know married couples need to see more married couples. There you go. Like ourselves.
Yeah.
So we've been married for 28 years, been together for 30. Have 2 children, Genesis and Ariel. Genesis is, how old is Genesis?
24.
Genesis is 24 and Ariel is
20.
20. And so we know that we have some valuable, some wisdom to share when it comes down to marriages.
Yes. So what is our topic for what is our first tip for the opening, dear?
First tip for the opening, don't get married. But anyway.
Don't get married. Lord.
So then I think the wisdom is, I think becoming friends. I think for 2 years, we became friends at Albany State University.
Yes, we met at Albany State University at the tennis court.
Yeah, at the tennis court.
And so and we we dated for about 2 years, and then we got engaged, and then we got married. And so, has life always been easy? No. No, it hasn't. We've had our challenges of ups and downs, but I believe our number one key point for us staying together is our communication. We haven't had we haven't always had the best communication. No. But our number one thing that we talked about before we got married and even after we got married was communicating, making sure that our communication is positive. And what we mean by that is it's a lot of, that's just the top of the umbrella. Right. Communication has so many levels and pieces up underneath it. Mm-hmm. One piece is making sure we always keep our communication positive. We don't yell at each other when we're fussing. Mm-hmm. And we do fuss. We fuss, right?
Yeah, we have
some disagreements. That's what we
call it, fuss. Because they be one side sometimes. But good.
We do fuss. We do disagree. And mm-hmm. I'm not saying that you shouldn't always disagree. There are going to be some disagreements. Mm-hmm. And that's what makes you continue to stay balanced and continue to find out about each other. You know, you won't be able to grow if you don't have any disagreements. So even when we have disagreements and we begin to have like debates, situations, we try to keep our voice at a level, level out, and we don't start yelling at one another. If one of our voices go up high, we would actually stop the conversation, say, bring your voice back down, or you're getting too loud. And, if he gets too loud and he's just heated, then, I be ready to walk away if it gets too loud. So I just say, bring your voice down. Because one thing you don't want to do is start yelling in front of your children. Yeah. You don't want to yell at all. That's unhealthy. But when you start yelling and fussing and arguing in front of your kids, that's another story, for a different time, yelling in front of your kids, allowing your children to, be all in your business, mm-hmm. And you're doing a lot of things in front of them. That's a big no. So positive communication, and what else would be a good positive?
Well, I think understand each other's personality, because I think I was more introverted and you was extrovert. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you say I was introverted, that meaning that you did most of the talking. Let me rephrase that. So learn each other's personality. So I was more introvert. When I say introvert, I was a listener and trying to understand what you said, mm-hmm. rather than trying to listen. I was listening to know how to respond, rather than waiting to respond. Because that's two different things. Sometimes you can be listening and waiting on your turn, but not hearing what the person's saying. I don't know how that is.
Right, because you could be listening, you could be hearing them, but you already have the next comment on the tip of your tongue, waiting to interject, and that's not good either, because you're really not listening if you're doing that. Right. I'm guilty of that sometimes. It just be so interesting what I have to say. Everything I say is important. And I do like to talk. So, I definitely like to talk. But I think that if you are listening to your spouse, really hearing what they have to say, and not just being ready to kind of jump the gun, and because what it is everything that you have to say is important. I mean, you may not, even if you don't think what I'm saying is important at the moment, I need you to give me that respect enough to know that I'm human just like you, and whatever I have to say is important to me. And if it's important enough for me to say to you, then I need for you to listen. And I need for you to try to understand and try to take all of those things in consideration. So that's a big piece.
So one of the things that hey, can I give a shout out? I want to give a shout out to all the deer hunters that's out there, because today is the first day of deer season for 5 Arms, and y'all see I got on my deer season stuff. So I want to give a shout out to all the deer hunters, because right now they should be trying to get in their stands. They should have gotten their stands at 4:30. And so I just want to give a shout out to all the deer hunters.
I need y'all to see my face while he's talking.
If if y'all are listening to this in this thing, get one for notice. All right. We're going to be out there. I think we're going to be out there. But what we was talking about, communication.
So another piece of the communication is putting your husband, your spouse, back into balance and back to the conversation piece.
Yeah, so the marriage tip we want to discuss today, we was talking about communication. And I was talking about understanding each other's personality. Because for the most part, I think when we first start out dating, you know, I was a get to the stop sign type of person.
Yes.
You know, get me from A and then jump to Z, don't go to B, C, D, E, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. But you was the type that you wanted to get it all out.
I need to get it all out.
You wanted to explain all that. And although I knew where you were headed, I think that it was respectful enough. And I respected what you had to say. And I had to learn that. I had to learn to and most men are A to Z, get me to the stop sign. But I had to learn that, you know, if I valued what you were saying and I wanted you to know that I valued it, then I had to be patient enough to let you go to B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. And so,
why you gotta say all the letters?
Well, I mean, it just sounded.
Okay.
So the marriage tip we're talking about today is communication. And even before we got married, as friends, we learned how to communicate. Do you remember that time that we was friends and then we said that we're going to be girlfriend and boyfriend? And it's like everything went silent. You remember that time?
All right. It became awkward.
Yeah.
We didn't know how to act anymore after we proclaimed our love for one another. But yeah, it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
But another thing, as far as under that communication umbrella, I think as far as having a positive communication would be knowing who to communicate with outside of your marriage.
Oh, that's a good one.
Keep your business off of social media.
That's what, yes.
Do I need to say it again, honey?
Say it again one
Keep
more time.
Keep your business off of social media.
Yeah.
Now, how many of you all have seen us posting a video about us fussing? Have you ever seen us posting anything about he didn't do right or I didn't do right? Or I mean, have you ever seen that from us?
No.
You haven't. You can't say you have. Right. I can bet you $1 million and you would not get it.
Right.
You know, because we have not posted that. We know that about each other. We discussed that early on, and we said we're not going to be spreading our business to anybody.
Y'all ain't gonna get this. Y'all ain't gonna get us.
He said one more time. Keep your business off of social media.
So a lot of couples do doing what they call it. Is that ghosting or throwing shade, dry shade, and you can know that person is talking about their spouse.
Yeah.
Even that, don't post anything concerning what may be any clues what might be going on in your household.
I don't care how mad you are with your spouse. Do not post anything on social. You need to go take a time out yourself and then just kind of you can pray about it, or you can go sit alone. You can go sit outside, go play with the dog, go shopping, whatever you want to do. But don't go shopping because you'll be mad and you'll want to.
Don't do that.
But you need to take some time out if you ever just get mad at your spouse. Do not hop on social media. In fact, even if you're upset with your spouse, don't even go to social media just to be looking to calm yourself down, because then you'll see something that'll trigger why you was upset, and then you'll want to chime in and post as well. I can't tell you how many times I see a lot of the younger couples, and it might be some older couples, but a lot of younger couples just posting stuff about their spouse or their boyfriends or their fiance. It just don't make any sense. And you really think that social media is your friend?
Nope.
Just because you have 2,000 friends, that does not. Nope. You probably don't even know about 50 of them or 100. And it's not healthy. It's not healthy. Now let's talk about the parents.
So hold on. So I want to give a shout out to Overseer Wilson. Thank you for joining us. We see you.
Hello.
Thank y'all for joining us. We forgot to, thank people for joining us, because we've been on for 15 minutes.
We thank everybody.
Thank you. we have been encouraged to do marriage moment tips, and we're following up on that because we realized that there were some things done before our marriage, in our marriage, and currently now that can offer some wisdom to those who are currently married or those who are pursuing marriage. As a matter of fact, not to get off the subject, we did how many months of premarital counseling? 9 months.
Was it that long?
Yeah, it felt like that long.
Marital counseling.
Premarital counseling.
Premarital counseling. And then for those who are already married, you might need some marriage counseling.
Go back and read what they call it, remarriage counseling.
Or something.
All right, so
because most people do not go through premarital counseling. And what's some of the benefits of going through premarital counseling?
Oh, well, you know, so
just tell them.
So you get all this. If the enemy is going to exploit, Lucifer, Satan, the devil, something in your marriage, doing premarital counseling, that gets all the skeletons or all the issues out before marriage, because if the enemy exploits in secret. So even when I do premarital counseling, I tell the individuals that, and I don't marry no one without at least 9 months of premarital counseling. And it is the same marital counseling session that we went through. All I did was I found a lesson, I copied it. Because if I've been married for 28 years to my lovely wife here, 28 years,
thank you,
then something about that premarital counseling worked. And
right,
so
something worked.
Yeah, something worked. And so even, you know, and then we talk about a lot of things. So the advantages of premarital counseling is you get everything on the table, get all the skeletons, if there are any, out on the table, because that's what the enemy utilizes to exploit all of us. He exploits in secrets. And then all assumptions.
Right. Because, you know, some of the skeletons or assumptions as far as before you get married, what you don't talk about, like your finances.
Yeah.
You know, you may be planning on having separate bank accounts. Now that ain't none of our business.
Right.
That, you know, but you may be planning on having separate bank accounts, but your spouse may be thinking that y'all are gonna do joint. If you don't talk about it in premarital counseling, then when you get married, you're gonna be fussing, you know, because I thought we were gonna do it this way. I assumed that we were just gonna do it. Right. I thought you knew. Well, common sense would have told you, and that's how you get in an argument.
Yeah.
And another a conversational piece for premarital counseling that the person would bring up is like having children. How many kids do you want to have?
Right.
What if the spouse doesn't want to have?
Right. That's
what
good.
If your fiance doesn't want to have children?
That's good.
If you don't go through all those things through premarital counseling, then you're not going to know what your spouse wants. And it's very important to know what your spouse wants, because some of those things can be deal breakers.
Yep.
You know, very deal breakers.
So expectations in marriage. Hey, y'all, listen. We don't want to be on here long, but this is our first coming back to Marriage Moment Tips, and we just wanted to introduce who we are. So every Saturday, maybe at 5 o'clock, we're going to be on, and we're going to be sharing some Marriage Moment Tips. If you have specific topics or specific questions that you would like for us to cover during these Marriage Moment Tips, do we know everything? No. But we've gained enough wisdom, both during some good times and bad times, where that we believe and we know that God has equipped us to help couples during these times. And so if you have,
it sound like we're closing.
We ain't coming. I'm looking at time.
Look here, people. We communicated before we got on this live, and I said, how many minutes we want to stay on the live? And he said, we're just gonna go off the cuff. And now I'm in the middle of talking, and he don't start doing the closing.
Yeah.
That's why I said we ain't perfect, but guess what? We have fun together.
Yeah.
I love you, darling. We have fun. I love you, darling.
Thank you. I love you too.
Make them say it, people. Make them say it. But I have something else to say.
We gotta be careful, because I just.
You bumped me.
No, I didn't.
I have
but
something
they saw
else.
my pajamas.
Do the people want to hear what I got to say?
Yeah.
Do the people want to hear what I got to say?
Do the people want to hear what you
I
got
mean,
to say?
I tell you, it's true. Okay, so what I would like to say about the communication piece. Remember, we're still talking about communication, and that's our tip for this evening. Okay. Talking about positive communication. thank you, Miss Jackson. She said she want to hear what I got to say. Shout out to Miss Jackson. Miss Valerie Jackson,
we don't
shout
need
out
to be
to
doing
you.
that, Miss Jackson.
Okay, so this is what I want to say about the marriage communication. Think about, sometimes our parents can be our best friend. I think I'm mainly talking to the women right now. I'm saying that to say this. Just listen to what I got to say.
Okay.
A lot of times, we females, we women, we talk to our moms a lot, and they become our best friends. You have to keep a balance as to how much you tell your mom, because after you get married, your spouse does not want you, nor do you need to be talking to your mom about what goes on in the bedroom, about he's not changing the tires on your car, about he's not mowing the lawn, whatever it is. You don't always need to take that to your I didn't do that, baby. I didn't.
I'm just saying. I'm just looking straight.
You don't need to take that to your mom. My mom is pretty close to me.
It goes for men to their fathers too.
Do y'all talk to y'all fathers like that?
Yeah, I mean, if you got older brothers or you got a father, we may go and say, hey, did mom ever do this? Because my wife just doing this.
Yeah.
Or we'll talk to other men or other brothers, so it can go both ways.
Okay, yeah. And so a lot of times we talk too much, ladies. Sometimes we, not saying you guys don't do it, but we talk a lot. And I think that if you tell your parent, your mom in particular, I'm just talking to the ladies. Okay. If you talk to your mom about what's going on in your marriage and you tell her too much, then it can come back to bite you, because your mom is going to be your protector. We've been protected since day one. And it will be hard for when you and your spouse reconcile your marriage or your disagreement or whatever argument you may be having. Your mom is still upset with your husband. It's so hard to keep, and whether it's a sibling, it's so hard for them to put down that what's it called, that wall. Yep. To bring down that wall when you have shared with them all your business. That's right. So don't do that. Don't share all your business with your parents.
Yeah, and I want to say this to the men also, because one of the tendencies as men that we may do is we may get together with other men, and we may have a wife bashing session. Oh. And so even with that, you still, we have to be careful with that, because for the most part, for men, because most of us are introverts, and that's maybe the only thing we have in common. So we start talking about our girlfriends or our spouses, and so that's another thing. And I hear the wisdom behind that, because even when you talk to somebody else about your spouse, you and your spouse may have reconciled already, but that person don't know about it. Don't know. And 9.9 times out of 10, hey Elijah, we see.
Hey Elijah,
what in the world?
Elijah wants some marriage tips.
Listen,
let's give Elijah some tips.
We need to talk to our brother and sister over Survive.
Let me get Elijah some marriage tips.
What is he doing?
Elijah, we talk about marriage.
We talk about marriage.
You need some marriage tips, Elijah. Let's give Elijah one marriage tip.
Marriage tip, okay.
When you start dating, Elijah.
When you start dating, if he ain't already dating.
I'm sure. But when
he's a good looking fella. I mean, he got a lot of
very nice, Elijah. You're so handsome.
We're gonna be so in trouble.
All nice with those
We're gonna be so in trouble.
3-piece suits on. You're not gonna have a problem at all.
Because I did see a video that his dad posted, and I saw a young lady that was looking at him, but we ain't gonna talk about
somebody been looking at you. Elijah, how old are you before I give you this marriage tip? I see you out here.
Yeah. All right.
We got to get him a marriage tip since he's
okay. Tell him when he start dating.
A marriage tip for the teenagers.
Talk to your mama.
Yes. It must be approved by your parents. Elijah. Don't go out here. Don't let these young ladies try to be putting peer pressure on you. You talk to your parents, and don't be trying to sneak out the house. Okay.
We're gonna be
talk to your parents. Okay. That's all we're gonna give you, Elijah. We're gonna move on.
All right. So what we just
So we was talking about the parents. Don't put your parents in your business.
Or any other friends.
Don't be bashing. Don't have a male bashing. Well,
don't have a spouse bashing session around the campfire, around the video games or whatever it's meant.
Because they'll remember too. Yeah. And you know what? At the moment, you may feel like they're listening and you're trying to release your thoughts and your inner thoughts and emotions and everything. But then sometimes when you go back and think about it, and then y'all reconcile, and you wonder, should I have told it? Did I disclose too much information?
Yep.
And then you're too far gone and you don't already shared it, and it's hard. You can't take it back. Nope. You know, you can't take back what you're saying, and don't do your spouse like that, because you've married your spouse for better or for worse.
Yep.
You know, and you have to make sure that you are just go to God. You know, just seek God about it and pray about it. And better yet, pray with your spouse. Just say, I recognize that, we're not on the same page. You know, you can either give them some space or just ask them, do you want to pray about it? Or make that pact before you get married and say, that would be a good premarital conversational piece. What do you want to do when we get angry? Let's and you can do it even now. You can do it even now in your marriage. Okay, so when we get angry, I notice that we raise our voices, we walk away. What is our go-to? What do we need to do when we get upset? And kind of go ahead and make an agreement as to what you want to do. Well, I don't like it when you walk off from me when I'm fussing. Talk about that. I don't like it when you raise your voice. I don't like it when you call your mama right after. Go ahead and discuss that now. That's not too late to do. And just decide on, what would be a good, healthy piece for your relationship.
You bring up another topic in terms of nonverbal communication, because a lot of us don't have to say anything, but in our actions, we're speaking a lot to our spouses. So that's another thing in terms of that language. My phone is off, so I can't see. Okay. The nonverbals also, we have to be aware that our body language, our nonverbals, is not also screaming at our spouses. And I have to say this because this is what come out. So even when you say when the spouse is talking and you're rolling your eyes, or you walk away, the scripture says, husbands, dwell with your wives according to knowledge, how you know them. And so I think the wisdom oftentimes is knowing your spouse, and watch this, knowing the words to use and not use. Because some of us are snipers. Sometimes we can be condescending in what we say, and also the tone. So when it comes down to communication and relationship, sometimes, and then because we're one, because we're closer, sometimes we utilize certain words to be condescending to our spouses, and we play these games. Right. At a certain age, at a certain time, depending on how long you've been married and how long you've been dating, you mature in that, and you become comfortable being vulnerable and not utilizing those condescending words and tones.
Right.
Stop
and so playing even with in your that, spouse.
Yeah.
Stop playing games.
Because the enemy will exploit that also. Yeah, and then they will begin to send individuals. See this? They begin to send individuals that will listen to your spouse, that has the right words that your spouse want to hear, both male and female. And now the marriage is under attack. And can we say this? And we see it. Y'all finna get me started. Somebody pulling on me. It ain't my fault.
Ain't nobody pulling on you.
It ain't my fault.
We get ready to close.
It ain't my fault. So you look at it, the communication. Can I say this? I'm gonna say this, y'all. You look in Genesis. When Satan talked to Eve, all right, 4 or 5 verses, she have a conversation. Eve talks to the man and only give him 1 verse to cause him to fall. Satan had to use about 4 or 5 verses to get Eve. And I think that shows us something about our nature as man and woman. And so the enemy will exploit that that communication piece, and he begin to send individuals that will have the right words that will listen. So there's protection. See.
Oh no.
See, I done crunk it up.
No,
Lucy.
No, I was just thinking.
What you were thinking?
I was thinking about that would be a great topic for next week. Is your spouse getting enough attention?
Oh,
like
goodness.
Because they can piggyback off of giving your spouse the right type of attention.
Mm-hmm.
Praise the Lord, Bishop.
Praise the Lord, Bishop. We love you too. We love you too.
that can piggyback off of if your spouse is not getting that attention, how the enemy creeps in and how he sets it up, and, and how the male, another male or another female can start going in and giving your spouse that attention. So that would be a great topic for next week. What you think?
Yeah, I think we can continue with that. So we're talking about communication. Now, first session, and it's vast, y'all. It's communicating in all areas, not only when it comes down to in children, because some spouses begin to talk to their children when the children get older, rather than talking to the spouse. They divert to what? Complaining to their children.
Oh yeah, keep your children out of your business.
Yes, please.
Oh my goodness, you don't know how many. Like, I'm a counselor in the school system. I can tell you, I can write a book on what some couples are going through because the children can tell me all of their business because their parents have been fussing and sharing business in front of them. You know, it's ridiculous. That's another topic too.
keep.
We got a lot of topics.
What is it? Keep children out of grown folks' business.
Out of grown folks' business.
Because y'all hear that's LB, that's Louis Vuitton.
Louis.
When he's hungry, he start kicking his bowl around. Who's? All right, y'all.
All right.
Well, so communication.
So our time is up. Yeah, I think our time is up. We want to keep it. But I think next week we can talk about that attention seeking and how to be aware, how to discern when the enemy is creeping in, and you know, that thing is real.
Yep.
That thing is real. How you think that somebody just giving you, somebody of opposite sex is just giving you a compliment.
Right.
You better watch it. You better say thank you and keep moving.
Yep.
And don't entertain it. Yep. You know, holler. You know.
Deuces.
Let's talk about that this week.
We'll talk about it this week, but hey, y'all, listen, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
If there is a topic that you would like for us to discuss, like for us to share, listen, we're going to be doing this 5 p.m. Every Saturday. If your spouse, y'all on a date, make this the date time. Don't make this date time.
No.
Make this the pre-date
spend some time.
Yeah, spend some time. Don't make it date time. Because it's at 5 o'clock. And so, once again, we want to give a shout out to all the deer hunters. Because this is deer season.
Okay.
Listen. So, at 5 o'clock, oh, that's right, man. Yeah, we'll be here. Even if I have to come from the deer stand, you think I can come from?
Well, how about I go out there with you?
Yeah. It ain't gonna be the same.
Wait, then you don't need to go.
Okay, well, continue. Hey, y'all, listen, love y'all. Thank y'all. Thank you. Thank y'all for joining us.
Bye, guys.
We love y'all and be safe. Listen, communication is the key, and we hope that you're blessed by this. Send us some topics, y'all.
And stay positive.
Stay positive. Love y'all.
Okay, bye-bye.